Silas had it all. A picture-perfect life with his beautiful wife, Kaya, a stunning house in the suburbs, and a successful career that others could only dream of. From the outside, their marriage was the stuff of fairy tales. They were the golden couple, the ones everyone admired, the benchmark for a happy relationship. But behind the closed doors of their immaculate home, a web of lies was being spun, so intricate and delicate that Silas believed it was unbreakable. For Silas, life was a game he was winning. He adored Kaya, he truly did. She was his rock, his partner, the mother of their future children. But he also craved the thrill of the forbiddance, the intoxicating rush of a secret life. That secret had a name, Chloe. She was everything Kaya wasn't: spontaneous, wild, and unattached to the responsibilities that came with a shared life. With Chloe, Silas could be a different man, free from the weight of expectations. He juggled late-night meetings that were actually candlelit dinners and business trips that were romantic getaways. He had two separate worlds, and he was the master of both. His phone had a hidden folder, his credit card statements were carefully monitored, and his alibis were always perfectly rehearsed. He was meticulous, a master puppeteer pulling the strings of his own double life, convinced that his lies were flawless. He believed he could have his cake and eat it too forever. Kaya wasn't naive, she wasn't blind, she was just trusting. She loved Silas with a depth that made suspicion feel like a betrayal in itself. But small inconsistencies, like tiny cracks in a perfect vase, had begun to appear. A scent of unfamiliar perfume on his collar, a receipt from a restaurant he claimed he'd never been to, a sudden guardedness with his phone. Each one was a small paper cut to her heart, easy to dismiss on its own, but together, they formed a slow bleeding wound of doubt. She'd ask, and Silas, with his charming smile and plausible explanations, would smooth over her fears. He was a master of gaslighting, making her feel foolish for her own intuition. He was just stressed from work. She was being overly sensitive. He loved only her. And because she wanted to believe him, she did. She pushed her instincts down, choosing love over the ugly truth that was whispering just beneath the surface. The tipping point came on a Tuesday, a day so ordinary it was almost insulting. Kaya was sorting through the mail when a letter addressed to Silas from a high-end jewelry store caught her eye. It was an invoice for a diamond necklace she had never received. Her heart hammered against her ribs. She remembered Silas mentioning a bonus at work, but he'd said it was smaller than expected. This necklace was anything but small. With trembling hands, she called the store, her voice barely a whisper as she pretended to be his assistant, inquiring about the delivery details for a surprise gift. The sales associate was cheerful and helpful, confirming the necklace had been delivered to a different address, an apartment downtown. An address Kaya had never heard of. The associate then added, he said his girlfriend, Chloe, absolutely loved it. He's such a romantic. The phone slipped from Kaya's hand. The world tilted on its axis, the floor dropping out from beneath her. Chloe. The name echoed in the sudden, deafening silence of her perfect home. The lies weren't just cracks anymore. They were a chasm that had just swallowed her whole. In that moment, something inside Kaya shifted. The hurt was a physical blow, a crushing weight on her chest. But through the pain, a cold, clear anger began to rise. An anger she hadn't felt in years. This wasn't just about infidelity, it was about the complete and utter disrespect. The years of lies, the manipulation, the way he had made her question her own sanity. She had given him her whole heart, and he had treated it like a plaything. The grief was immense, but the desire for justice was stronger. He had built his kingdom on a foundation of deceit, and she decided, with chilling certainty, that she would be the one to burn it to the ground. She wasn't going to cry and confront him. No, that was what he would expect. She was going to dismantle his perfect life, piece by painful piece, just as he had dismantled hers. Kia's plan began to take shape, meticulously and quietly. She started by gathering evidence. She hired a private investigator who, within days, provided a dossier filled with photos of Silas and Chloe laughing over dinner, kissing under a street lamp, entering the downtown apartment. Each photo was a fresh stab to the heart, but it also fueled her resolve. She made copies of the jewelry invoice, the apartment lease she found under Chloe's name, and damning text messages she managed to retrieve from their shared tablet. She didn't just want to expose his affair. She wanted to expose the financial deceit that went with it. She contacted a forensic accountant who uncovered a secret bank account where Silas had been stashing money from their joint finances, to fund his second life. The scale of his deception was staggering. He hadn't just cheated on her. He had stolen from their future. Kaya worked in the shadows, her grief transforming into a laser-focused determination. Her friends saw a change in her, a new strength in her eyes, but they had no idea of the storm she was about to unleash. The stage for the final act was set at Silas's annual company dinner. It was the event of the year, a gala where he was slated to receive a major award for integrity and leadership. The irony was so thick Kaya could taste it. She walked into the ballroom on his arm, playing the part of the proud, supportive wife to perfection. She smiled, mingled, and accepted congratulations on his behalf. Silas was on top of the world, beaming under the spotlight, his perfect wife by his side. He felt invincible. He gave his acceptance speech talking about trust, loyalty, and the importance of a strong moral compass. The applause was thunderous. Then, the CEO invited Kaya to the stage to say a few words about her husband. This was her moment. Kaya stepped up to the microphone, her hands steady, her voice clear and strong. She started by thanking everyone and speaking of the man she thought she had married. Then, her tone shifted. Speaking of integrity, she said, her eyes locking onto Silas's, I believe it's something you demonstrate not just in the boardroom, but at home. A large screen behind the stage, which had been showing a slideshow of Silas's achievements, suddenly flickered. An image appeared. Silas and Chloe kissing. The room fell silent. Then another photo of the diamond necklace invoice. Then bank statements from his secret account. With every click of the remote in her hand, another piece of his secret life was laid bare for his colleagues, his boss, and the entire world to see. This is the integrity my husband practices, Kaya announced, her voice ringing with power. This is Chloe, and this is the life he funded by stealing from our family. Silas's face went from triumphant to ashen. The color drained from his skin as he stood frozen, exposed and humiliated under the glare of the spotlight that had, moments before, been his friend. The silence in the room was broken by whispers, then gasps. His perfect world, so carefully constructed, had been obliterated in a matter of seconds, not by a whisper, but by a roar. The aftermath was catastrophic for Silas. He was fired the next day, his reputation in tatters. The man lauded for integrity was now a pariah. His friends, who were also his colleagues, distanced themselves. His family was horrified. He tried to go to Chloe, but she, seeing the man who had lost everything, wanted nothing to do with the broken-down version of the powerful man she had been with. She had been attracted to the success, the money, the thrill, all of which were gone. Suddenly Silas was completely alone, standing in the ruins of the two lives he had tried to lead. The perfect house was sold. The luxury car was repossessed. He had lost his wife, his mistress, his career, and his self-respect, all because he believed his lies were perfect. Kaya, on the other hand, began to heal. Divorcing Silas was painful, but it was also a liberation. She emerged from the wreckage not as a victim, but as a survivor who had reclaimed her power. She discovered a strength she never knew she possessed. The truth, as devastating as it was, had set her free. Silas learned the hard way that a life built on lies is as fragile as a cards. One gust of truth is all it takes to bring the whole thing crashing down. He had thought he was the master of his own game, but in the end, the only person he truly destroyed was himself.